span or 5-day span, and we just went through the games, talked about them, win losses, and things like that. So it was kind of cool. So if you haven't watched that video, make sure you do. Make sure you like this video and also subscribe to the channel. We are like 100 subscribers away from 6K, which is really cool. And also, and I'm probably going to state this at the end of my video as well. Yes, I am doing a March Madness bracket video. Just chill out. We still have some days before, everything sort of starts happening. I'm going to post that video, I think, on Wednesday, because I think the actual games start Thursday and Friday, and then Saturday is like the big time weekend games. So Wednesday, I'll be posting that video. So I guess that's technically tomorrow for you guys. So technically tomorrow for you guys. That's kind of cool. So yeah, tomorrow I will be doing a bracket video. It's not gonna be very informative, but hey, just keep an eye out for it. But anyways, NBA Power Rankings. Let's jump right into tonight's video. Alrighty, well, taking a look at the list here on NBA.com, the 30th ranked team on their power rankings are the Houston Rockets. I know it's probably not that big of a surprise that the Houston Rockets are on the bottom tier of the list. They're on one of the biggest losing streaks I have seen in my lifetime of watching basketball. I think they're on like a 14, 15, maybe even a 16 game losing streak right now. It's super crazy. It's wild. I get it. I knew that this was the direction the Houston Rockets were going in after obviously trading away Russell Westbrook, James Harden. You get the gist, but they're starting to, find trade packages for different players. They have a lot of guys out for different reasons. Obviously, Christian Wood being their biggest one. Man, the contribution that Christian Wood has on that team is pretty crazy, and you can kind of see that now with him being out. But yeah, it's the direction I knew Houston was going in, a tanking sort of season. They have a big time prospect in Cade Cunningham coming out of this year's draft. A lot of other guys like Jalen Green, Suggs as well. A lot of big time guys that they could pick up on their team if they do get a top 3 pick. That'd be really dope. So last team, 30th, Houston Rockets. Not that surprising. Next up are the Minnesota Timberwolves, ranked 29th in the league. Minnesota, not that bad. They actually are up 1. They were at 29th last week. This week they're 29th. Well, sorry, they were at 30th last week. Now they're 29th. A little bit moving on up. The record is still 9-30, doing pretty bad. What's very interesting about this team is that they have the 5th highest ranked pace in the entire NBA. So they play very fast. Obviously, with the team with, D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Edwards, you're gonna play really fast. And obviously, Karl-Anthony Towns, who's not a traditional sort of back to the basket big man, you're gonna play with very fast, which I really like. I really hope that team continues that on throughout their sort of rebuilding series that they're going in right now. But yeah, that's pretty tough. Obviously, I do not think the Wolves are the worst team in the NBA. Obviously, talent-wise, for the future, they have it with Cat and D'Lo and Anthony Edwards. Even some of the low, under-the-radar guys like Culver and Agogi and guys who really just aren't having that great of a year. I still have a lot of high hopes for that team. But obviously, with health comes back around for them. They could probably even make a run for, well, hopefully they don't, but they could be a little better. Oh, wow, 28th are the Orlando Magic. Man, that's so tough. The Orlando Magic. They are ranked 29th in offensive rating. That is just terrible. Well, obviously with the Orlando Magic, health has been a big thing for them. Also, luck has been a big thing wants, takes as many shots as he wants. Doesn't matter if he wins or loses. He's still going to be the face of the franchise. Like, I can understand why he would want to be there, but I guess that it comes down to the Orlando Magic and where they want to do with their future. If they want to trade Vucevic for picks, if they want to trade Vucevic for younger assets, anything like that, we're going to have to see. But the rebuild phase might be here finally for Orlando, which has been a long time in the waiting. 27th, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers, which, wow, they are 30th in offensive rating, 23rd in defensive rating, and 30th in net rating. Wow. I mean, a team with Colin Sexton and Kevin Love and Drummond and Jared Allen, you'd think they'd be a little bit better rating-wise, but hey, man, they're still not ranked the worst team in the NBA. That's a good sign, but yeah, Cleveland is definitely on a good sort of trajectory with their rebuild, at least in my opinion. And you know, if they do / when they do trade Kevin Love for, I'm assuming some sort of assets, and also Andre Drummond, hopefully they can just get some more picks, get some more this, get some more that, and I think in the next 3 to 5 years, I think Cleveland's going to be in a really good spot, especially to keep around, obviously, Colin Sexton, who has, you know, all-star potential for sure. So 26th are actually the Detroit Pistons. Wow, I think they actually are ranked kind of high, in my opinion, but I think they just get Hamidou Diallo in a trade. I think that was kind of interesting of them. I think Diallo definitely has potential to be some sort of role player on a team. I don't know why they would make that move, and a player like Diallo would just be like a free agent in the next 1 or 2 years, but apparently they wanted him now, so that's nice. They got a nice, young, springy, athletic kid there, but man, everything else about the Pistons are just pretty drastic. It says the Pistons 3-17 record in games that are within 5 points in the last 5 minutes would be the worst clutch record in the 25 years, which the data has been marked. So they are the worst clutch team pretty much in NBA history, which is pretty sad, but I guess that would make sense because who is stepping up on that team? You know, no offense, obviously, but like, Jeremy Grant is their best player by far, and it's not like Jeremy Grant can go out there and just get you a bucket whenever you need, so it seems like when the game comes down to the line, they are one of the worst of all time. That is pretty sad, but makes a lot of sense. 26th, we have the Sacramento Kings. Wow, that's pretty. I don't agree with that. I think they're better than that, but hey, not my list. They are 15-23. They are 10th in pace, 9th in offensive rating, but dead last in defensive rating in the NBA. That's pretty bad. I'm trying to think, and yeah, dude, like, I think Sacramento is like maybe the only team in the entire NBA that doesn't have like a defensive stopper. Like, I think almost every NBA team, even some teams, have multiple just defensive-minded guys, and when I think of Sacramento, I literally just think of offense, and it makes sense because they are the 9th or top 10 in offense, which is super crazy, but literally the last team in defense. So I think besides injury and things there, I think this actually has been a pretty good year for the Kings. They still have a chance to be, you know, a 9th, 10th seeded play-in spot for the NBA playoffs, but I think that's their peak in my opinion, but still better, I think, than 25th in the NBA power rankings. Next, we have the Washington Wizards, who last week were ranked 19th, and now they are ranked 24th, so that is a big drop in the eyes of the NBA article here. But I guess if you guys didn't know, and I didn't know, they are the number 1 ranked pace team in the entire NBA, so they're the Siakam, who is a good player but cannot be the go-to guy on a team. Kind of like how Jeremy Grant is with Detroit. Like, he's a good player, but not a guy you want to go, into a game being your best guy. I do love the acquisition of, the keeping of Fred VanVleet, but for that much money, like, you can give that money to, like, no offense to Fred, but a better, maybe perimeter player for sure. Toronto, very average team for sure. 22nd, we have the Chicago Bulls with a record of 17-20, 6th in pace, 16th in offensive rating, and 19th defensive rating. So not bad. I think definitely that Chicago has actually some pretty good potential to at least be better than a lot of people sort of have their mind engraved in when they think of Chicago. They are actually in the 9th spot right now, about a game back from being 8th seed, 3 games back from being like a 7th, 6th seed in the NBA Eastern Conference. So, we need to give a little bit more respect to Chicago right now, because they can make, a pretty good run here the next couple of months that the NBA is still going on, and be fine. They're 5-5 right now in their last 10, so maybe that goes to a 6-4 week, and then maybe a 7-3 week, then a 6-4 week. Like, if they can keep this positive movement going into the sort of final stretch of the NBA season. 21, we have the New Orleans Pelicans, and they're starting to look better. I'll say that. They are looking more efficient, and Zion is a big reason why. Even Lonzo Ball is starting to contribute a little bit more to that team. If anything, Brandon Ingram maybe, not taking a step back, but maybe just not as full out there, which is fine. I mean, with that trio of guys, that's, you don't need them being all full force at once. But Zion is definitely the major reason why Zion is playing very well this year. They are 7th right now in offensive rating, but 28th in defensive rating. So I think that also just comes down to maturity. I mean, their starting 5 is super young, but then you also just have a random Eric Bledsoe and Steven Adams there, who are good defenders, but then their bench is just a bunch of wishy-washy, like random guys. I mean, like Josh Hart, JJ Redick, Jackson Hayes, who's still like a super skinny, lanky guy. I mean, it's not going to be great defense coming from their bench, but hopefully, again, with time, everybody just sort of starts moving along. And again, you think about them, Chicago, Memphis, like teams that are just waiting to burst with great potential of players. It's definitely New Orleans, maybe at the top, because man, Zion's already an all-star. Brandon Ingram's been an all-star last year. If we can just get Lonzo Ball and a little bit extra help off the bench for the Pelicans, some maturity, boom, that team is already, maybe even a top-tier seed, a top team in the Western Conference. So 20th, wow, they have the Thunder, the Oklahoma City Thunder, 20th. That's so crazy. Yeah, this is the reason why they are ranked 11th in defense in the entire NBA, which that's something I always talk about or think about when I think of the Thunder. Is just, dang, that's a gritty team. Like, that team really defensively gets up on you, and that's really because their perimeter defense is, in my opinion, the best case scenario for that team. They're 12th right now in the West, and I mean, the Warriors and the Dallas Mavericks are sort of tied right now for the 8th spot, and the Thunder are 3 games back from being an 8th seed. So, I mean, Shea, definitely an all-star snub for sure. You have Luke Dort, who on defense is just a pest, in the best way possible. Like, he's such a just short, strong, just defender, and then they're starting to see more of an offensive game for him. I've seen games where he drops, 20, 25 points. He's looking at maybe not the backup duo to Shea, but a valuable piece to that team. So hopefully they keep him around for years to come as well. So 19th, we have the Indiana Pacers, and for Indiana, I think for sure is a team that probably isn't going to make the playoffs, and that's really sad, but that's just probably how it's going to be. They're 12th in defense, 18th in offense. Like, they are very all-star snub in Brogdon. They have an all-star in Sabonis. Other than that, they've had so many injuries to TJ and Karras. Miles Turner has been up and down this entire year. It's just a team where I don't know if they have enough consistency to really make, a playoff push right now. Right now they're 10th right now, but I mean Toronto is right behind them for the 11th seed, and then Cleveland, Washington are right there. So I think at the very least there'll be a play-in game team, but that's going to be a really struggle for the Pacers for sure. They have to go up in a sort of elimination series games against them, or even the Hornets, Atlanta. I don't really know if the Pacers have it, but they could, because obviously maturity is a big thing for the playoffs, and those type of games makes a lot of sense. So I mean, I think the very least of the Pacers, they could be a play-in game team, which I guess isn't that bad, but they definitely could be, a 5th, 4th seeded team if, health and everything like that was on their side. 18th, we have Atlanta. I think Atlanta is starting to find, again, a little bit of a stride this year for their games and whatnot. They are, they're 7-3 on a 5-game win streak, so that's awesome to see from Atlanta. I think once, the trade deadline is finally done with and the whole John Collins thing is done and over with, I can see this team finally starting to, bud a little bit. And also just with injuries and health and safety protocols and things like that. I think this team will be a playoff team for sure. I think they will snag the 8th or 7th seed. Same with Charlotte and New York. I think those guys, I like what I'm seeing. And then maybe like a Chicago Pacer play-in series, and then maybe you can throw in Toronto there for a potential play-in series for the end of the year. So, but I think Atlanta, especially with Trae Young and everyone else, I feel like if that team could just get healthy, I think they have a good chance of making a good run at the end of this year, a la making a playoff spot. So that's pretty cool to see. 17th, we have the Knicks. I mean, the Knicks are definitely a good team. I mean, they're 4th in defense this year, which, God, is so crazy to think about. Like I was just talking about with the Nets last night. Like, although they did, blow that, they blew a lead in the 4th quarter. And also probably should have had a little bit better of an ending to that game with the ref, Julius Randle and Kyrie scenario. But it still was a very good game. And if they can play against a title contending team, I'm assuming if they go up against Miami Heat, Boston Celtic team in the playoffs, they have a pretty good chance of making it to the second round for sure. But I still think they are a very average team. But I think for the Knicks, that is a good thing. I think they're maybe slightly above average on like a good day, like on their best day. They're like a slightly above average team. But 16th, we have the Memphis Grizzlies, and I think just for Memphis is health. I mean, they just need Jaren. If they can obviously, I think they've been playing without LaMarcus for a while now, and they've actually been doing pretty okay without him. I think LaMarcus wasn't really that sort of big on the team anyways. They were 5-5 in their last 10, so it's not like losing LaMarcus was a big deal. I think it really just comes down to their younger guys, because their old guys are, DeMar and Rudiger, those guys are going to do them, and they're good. They're good at doing that, but I don't know if I can really believe in the Spurs yet. I do think they are going to be the team that falls out of the playoffs, because like I said, the Warriors are going to catch a break, and they're going to get better. You have Memphis getting Ja back. I think the Pelicans are starting to play better. I don't think the Spurs can play this consistent / get better. I think it can only get worse for the Spurs, and I think that's kind of sad. But 13th, we have the Warriors. I think that's a good spot for them, just barely, above 15. I think they're like a title contending sleeper team. Maybe, potentially. That's a good case. They could upset like a number 2 seeded team, or maybe even the Utah Jazz in the first round of the playoffs if they stay up there. That'd be kind of crazy, but I obviously think, again, as I said this before, at the beginning of the year, this team will go as far as Steph Curry can take him. And it looks like Steph Curry he's playing good, but I said this before, Steph Curry's going to have to average like 35 points per game for the Warriors to be at the level that we all want them to see, and he just can't do that. There's going to be some guys where Steph has like 20 points and he plays a good game, but a good game from Steph isn't good enough for the Warriors to win games, and that's really sad. They need more help, but obviously with Clay out and Draymond not really being that guy anymore for that team, it takes a lot out of Steph Curry, and you just gotta hope and pray if you're a Warriors fan that you can just stay right where you guys are in that sort of sweet spot of a 8th, 7th sort of play-in spot area, and hope for the best, because it looks like that might be the best case scenario for the Warriors this year. 12th, we have Portland, which Portland, if you guys didn't know, is almost a top 5 team in offense, but ranked 29th in defense. Do y'all remember when, oh my god, Portland, we got so many wing defenders, oh my god, blah blah blah. It doesn't matter, Portland will always be a garbage defensive team, no matter who's on our team. Obviously, our bigs are hurt. We have Enes Kanter being our starting center, which if you don't know, Enes Kanter is notoriously known for being a terrible, power forward in the NBA. And then our center in the NBA, and our power forward is 6'7" Robert Covington. So it's pretty rough in Portland right now. We still have Zach out, Yusuf out, but G.J. McCollum makes his return very soon. I think Yusuf comes back in 2 weeks, so hopefully in the last little push for the playoffs, Blazers can get some good luck, get our wheels back on, and sort of figure ourselves out before the playoffs start, and then hopefully, Portland can sort of be a good 5-6 seed, maybe have our favorable matchup. I don't know what that matchup is. Maybe it's a Denver Nuggets team. I don't know what's a favorable matchup, because otherwise it's so stacked. I don't want to face anyone, but it's going to come down to that. So I'm really happy with Dame this year. Portland could have easily been a 10 seed or 11 seed this year with the injuries we had, but bro, Damian and Gary Trent Jr. and Carmelo, like, those guys really stepped up, and very, very, very proud of them. But defense sucks. 11th, we have Miami. Is Miami ranked above Portland? Do I believe that? Portland's 22-16. Miami is 21-18. Wow, Miami's playing really good recently. Miami is 9-1 in their last 10. My God, they're on a 4-game win streak. Very sneaky, Miami. I see you guys. Okay. Yeah, I think Miami is definitely healthy. And I said this before, when they weren't healthy, all they need to do is get healthy, and they're healthy, and they're good now. So, hey, I called that right. But yeah, obviously with Jimmy Butler playing at the sort of normal Jimmy Butler way, and other guys coming back, and Bam Adebayo playing, again, all-star snub for sure. thoughts on that, but Kristaps is starting to look a little bit better. I knew this year for him was going to start really slow, and it did, but he's starting to find himself a little more, which is nice to see. But man, a top 10 team power ranking wise, I don't agree with that. They might be sort of overshadowing something that we don't know. Maybe they're going to start blowing up teams and start, doing really good, which is possible. I can see that, but I don't know. Dallas is also a sleeper team for sure. I think Dallas, if, the NBA started today and Dallas had to face the Utah Jazz in the first round, I would love to see that matchup because I think the Dallas Mavericks could actually take on a Utah Jazz team for sure. A fully healthy Mavs team that is 7th. They have the LA Clippers. Again, in my opinion, somehow being some sort of a sleeper team. They are 3rd in offense, 16th in defense, which, if in my opinion, I would have thought that would have been flipped. I thought they would be a better defensive team, but maybe not. I do hear that the Clippers are sort of in that sort of buy-in trade market with a lot of players like Andre Drummond and yada yada yada. The list goes on, but I think this team right now is pretty set. I think they could use a little more, maybe in their starting lineup. I hate that they have to start like Nick Batum. I think that's pretty bad, and I really hope that they could have had Serge Ibaka come off the bench for them, but it looks like that's not what's going to happen. But if the Clippers did, pick up another player, I think that'd be kind of cool. Whatever, player that is, if it's a buyout guy or a trade, I think that'd be really cool. But I think currently made, I still think they're my favorite to win the title. I think having that extra year under their belt really helped out a lot. I think that the disaster, the train wreck, the car wreck, whatever you want to say, that happened last year in the playoffs really actually helped that team in the long run. 6th, we have the Bucks. Bucks, great team. I think, of course, they are a title contending team. They have great play. They have the back-to-back MVP. Could be another MVP this year. Who knows? But I think they're good. Could they use more? Obviously, every team can. But they've definitely been playing good. They could definitely easily be a number 2 seed in the next coming weeks. As long as they keep their play up, I think they're playing very well. 5, we have the Lakers. I think, God, that's saying a lot, obviously, without having Anthony Davis. And then having not having Anthony Davis for another 2 weeks. The Lakers are in lock-in mode right now. Those guys are really running the motor, which can be a good thing because they're playing high, sort of volume of games at their best. For the playoffs, they could be already, revved up and ready to go, or get tired before the playoffs. So I hope LeBron can rest a couple more games because they're going to need it, because that team is rubbish without LeBron or AD on the floor. 4, we have Utah, and essentially the Jazz are 1-3 in March, and I get that. I think Utah is definitely going to be one of those teams that are going to maybe start sliding a little bit in the standings. I think they hit really high highs in the season already this year. I don't really see them peaking. I think they're going to start, are plateauing. I don't really see them going to start coming down a little bit. I mean, dude, Phoenix could be a number 1 seed in the West this year, which is super crazy, but I mean, Jazz are 5-5 in their last 10. I could see them start skidding a little bit, not, falling out of the top 4 in the West, but staying number 1. I'm not too sure about that. Number 3 are the Phoenix Suns, and again, they are a crazy team. Check this. 8th in offense and 6th in defense. They are top 10, almost top 5 in offense defense this year. What happened? What happened to Phoenix? That's crazy. I knew they were going to be good. I think everyone knew they were going to be good. They're going to be a playoff team for sure. But, a top 4 seed, maybe, but a number 1 seed contender. Wow. Amazing. Good for them. Is it a team I would trust in the playoff scenario against like a Laker, Clipper, Denver team? I don't know. I'd have to see that, but they're still a very young team. Hopefully Chris Paul can just sort of age that team a little more before the playoffs start. 2, you have Philadelphia. I think, of course, Philly, a title contender team, is just Joel Embiid. And with Joel Embiid out for the next couple could see them skid down a little bit. Their upcoming games are New York, Milwaukee, Sacramento, and New York again. So, I mean, 3 of those guys are playoff teams. And Sacramento aren't scrubs either, so they could go 0-4 in the next 4 games, which is scary to think about, but I think they'll be fine, and I hope Ben Simmons can sort of step up during this sort of time without Embiid, but it's really going to have to see what happens with number 1 ranked team in the NBA. And I think they are to me as well, and that is the Brooklyn Nets. This is the Kevin Durant-less Brooklyn Nets, by the way, because Kevin Durant still is hurt. He's still hurt, apparently. They are the number 1 ranked team in offense, 25th ranked in defense, though. So their offense is definitely carrying that team. Hopefully that can switch sometime. If, God forbid, I hope this doesn't happen, but if they do get a Drummond player, that would be good for them, but terrible for the rest of the league. I hope they don't.